Have you ever felt deeply hurt by a woman you care about and didn't know how to handle that pain with grace? What if there's a traditional way to face that hurt that leads to healing, respect, and stronger bonds? In today's video, we'll explore timeless steps to help you navigate this difficult experience wisely. Before we begin, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a moment of guidance rooted in respect and true strength. Let's walk this path together. Pause and reflect. When a woman you care about hurts you, the first and most important step is to pause and reflect. It may seem natural to respond quickly, driven by raw emotions such as anger, sadness, or disappointment, but reacting impulsively often causes more harm than good. Traditionally, wisdom teaches us the value of patience and calm, especially when faced with emotional wounds. Taking time to pause means stepping back from the situation to allow your mind and heart to settle. This moment of quiet reflection isn't about suppressing your feelings, rather, it is about acknowledging them honestly and giving yourself space to process what happened. Anger and hurt can cloud judgment and lead to harsh words or actions you might regret later. By pausing, you give yourself the chance to see the situation more clearly and make decisions rooted in understanding rather than pain. Reflection also invites you to examine your own role in the situation. Sometimes, hurt feelings arise from misunderstandings, miscommunication, or even unmet expectations on both sides. Traditional values emphasize personal responsibility and humility, encouraging you to look inward before casting blame. Ask yourself, was there something I said or did that contributed to this moment? Could I have been clearer or more patient? In this quiet moment, it helps to recall the value of respect, not just for the other person, but for yourself as well. Respecting yourself means refusing to react in ways that damage your character or peace of mind. Respecting the woman who hurt you means recognizing her as a fellow human being with her own struggles and flaws. This does not mean excusing harmful behavior, but honoring the dignity of both parties as you navigate the pain. Tradition teaches that wisdom often grows in silence. By resisting the urge to rush into confrontation, you open a space for calm thought, prayer, or meditation, whichever suits your beliefs and practices. This foundation of inner peace prepares you for the next steps. Understanding, honest communication, and healing. In summary, the first lesson in handling hurt is to pause and reflect. This is the moment where emotional heat cools down, where clarity begins to replace confusion, and where respect for yourself and the other person lays the groundwork for a wiser, more thoughtful response. The path to healing and reconciliation starts with this humble pause. Seek understanding. After you have taken the time to pause and reflect on the hurt you have experienced, the next important step is to seek understanding. In many traditional teachings, understanding others is a cornerstone of peaceful relationships and lasting harmony. It is often said that before passing judgment, one must first walk a mile in another's shoes. This wisdom holds true when dealing with emotional pain caused by someone you care about. Seeking understanding means making a sincere effort to see the situation from her perspective. When a woman's words or actions cause hurt, it is tempting to assume ill intent or to feel wounded by the surface of the act alone. Yet beneath the surface, there may be reasons or feelings she has not expressed openly. Perhaps she is struggling with her own pain, stress, or fears. Perhaps her actions were not meant to harm, but were a reaction to circumstances or misunderstandings. Traditional values call us to look deeper and approach others with empathy rather than haste. This does not mean ignoring your own feelings or pretending that what hurt you was trivial. Instead, it means holding your hurt in balance with a curiosity about her inner world. Asking gentle questions such as, "Can you help me understand what you were feeling when this happened?" or "What was going on for you at that time?" opens the door for honest dialogue. Such questions, asked with respect and patience, invite her to share her side without feeling attacked or blamed. True understanding requires attentive listening, not simply waiting for your turn to speak, but really hearing her words, tone, and emotions. Traditional teachings praise the virtue of a quiet and attentive heart. When you listen carefully, you show respect and value for her feelings, which can soften tension and build bridges where walls had risen. Seeking understanding also helps dispel misconceptions. Often, pain arises from assumptions or incomplete information. By uncovering the root causes of her behavior or words, you may find that the hurt was not intended as it felt. This discovery can be the beginning of healing and renewed trust. In conclusion, seeking understanding after being hurt is an act of humility and respect. It calls you to step beyond your own pain, to recognize the complexity of human emotions and situations. This practice not only fosters reconciliation but also strengthens your character and deepens your relationships. Tradition teaches that peace in the heart and home grows from the soil of empathy and patient inquiry. Communicate honestly and respectfully. Once you have taken the time to reflect and sought to understand the other person's perspective, the next vital step in handling hurt is to communicate honestly and respectfully. In traditional values, honest communication is a bridge that connects hearts, while respect serves as the foundation that keeps that bridge strong and steady. When you have been hurt, it's natural to want to express your feelings. However, how you communicate can make all the difference between healing and further pain. Speaking honestly means sharing your true feelings, thoughts, and experiences openly without hiding or minimizing the hurt. It is important to be clear about what caused the pain so that the other person can understand its impact. Yet, honesty alone is not enough. The manner in which you communicate must be respectful. This means choosing words carefully, avoiding blame, insults, or harsh accusations that can shut down meaningful conversation. Tradition often reminds us that a soft answer turns away wrath, emphasizing the power of gentle speech to calm conflict rather than fuel it. One helpful approach is to use I statements rather than you statements. For example, instead of saying, "You hurt me by ignoring my feelings," try saying, "I felt hurt when my feelings seemed ignored." This subtle shift focuses on your experience without accusing or putting the other person on the defensive. It invites empathy rather than confrontation. Respectful communication also involves timing and tone. Choose a moment when both of you can talk calmly and without distractions. Speak with a tone that reflects care and concern rather than anger or frustration. This signals that your goal is not to win an argument, but to seek understanding and resolution. Additionally, expressing your feelings openly encourages the other person to do the same. It creates a safe space for vulnerability, which is essential for rebuilding trust. When both parties speak honestly and listen respectfully, wounds begin to heal and relationships grow stronger. In traditional relationships, communication is seen not merely as exchanging words, but as an act of honoring each other's dignity. It is a sacred process where truth and kindness meet. By communicating honestly and respectfully, you show strength of character and commitment to nurturing the bond despite difficulties. In summary, honest and respectful communication is a cornerstone in handling hurt. It allows you to share your pain clearly while preserving the dignity and respect of both people involved. This balanced approach creates the conditions for forgiveness, healing, and a renewed relationship grounded in mutual respect. Set boundaries. In any relationship, respect and love are built on a foundation of clear and healthy boundaries. When a woman has hurt you, whether through words or actions, it is essential to set boundaries to protect your dignity and well-being. This lesson draws on time-honored wisdom, reminding us that boundaries are not walls of separation, but guardrails that keep relationships safe and honorable. Setting boundaries means clearly defining what behaviors you find unacceptable and communicating those limits with firmness and kindness. Traditionally, this has been seen as an act of self-respect and strength. It shows that you value yourself enough to refuse to tolerate harm or disrespect. Yet it also respects the other person by making your expectations clear rather than allowing confusion or resentment to grow silently. Many people hesitate to set boundaries for fear of causing conflict or appearing harsh. However, tradition teaches that peace in a relationship is not the absence of all conflict, but the presence of mutual respect and understanding. Boundaries help prevent repeated hurt by making clear what behavior you will no longer accept. For example, if hurtful words have become a pattern, you might say, "I will not engage in conversations where insults are used." If neglect or dishonesty has caused pain, you might express that trust and honesty are necessary for your continued connection. The key is to communicate these boundaries calmly and clearly, without anger or threats. It is also important to stand by your boundaries consistently. Changing or ignoring them weakens their effectiveness and can lead to confusion. Boundaries act like fences around your heart, giving you space to heal and preventing further damage. They are not meant to punish but to protect. Setting boundaries is a way of honoring both yourself and the other person. It encourages accountability and growth. When the woman sees that you are serious about your limits, it may inspire her to reflect on her actions and make changes, strengthening the relationship over time. Finally, boundaries help you discern the future of the relationship. If the other person respects your boundaries, the relationship can heal and deepen. But if boundaries are repeatedly ignored, it may be a sign to reconsider the nature or closeness of the relationship to preserve your peace. In summary, setting boundaries is a vital step in handling hurt with dignity and wisdom. It balances firmness with kindness, protecting your heart while encouraging respect. Tradition honors the courage it takes to set boundaries and recognizes them as essential for healthy, lasting relationships. Forgive, but don't forget. Forgiveness is one of the most powerful and revered virtues in traditional teachings. When someone you care about hurts you, offering forgiveness is not just a kindness to the other person, but a gift you give yourself. Yet it is important to understand that forgiveness does not mean forgetting or ignoring the lessons learned from the experience. This balance is essential to healing and maintaining your strength. To forgive means to release bitterness, anger, and the desire for revenge. Carrying resentment weighs heavily on the heart and mind, robbing you of peace and joy. Tradition reminds us that forgiveness is a pathway to inner freedom. It allows you to let go of the pain and bitterness that can otherwise imprison your spirit. However, forgiveness does not erase what happened. It is not a sign of weakness or naivety. Instead, it acknowledges the reality of the hurt while choosing to move beyond it without harboring grudges. This distinction protects you from repeating the same mistakes or allowing yourself to be hurt again in the same way. When you forgive, you honor the dignity of the person who hurt you, recognizing that all human beings are imperfect and capable of mistakes. Forgiveness is an act of grace, reflecting strength and compassion rather than weakness. It reflects a traditional outlook that values mercy and the possibility of redemption. At the same time, don't forget means you remember the experience clearly enough to protect yourself. It is a lesson learned, a boundary set, and a guide for how you will approach the relationship going forward. Remembering helps you remain vigilant and wise, preventing you from being vulnerable to repeated harm. Forgiveness also opens the door for reconciliation. When both parties are willing to forgive and learn from the experience, the relationship can grow deeper and stronger. But if forgiveness is given without awareness or caution, it can leave you exposed to further pain. In practical terms, forgiveness is often a process rather than a single event. It may take time, prayer, reflection, or counsel. It requires patience with yourself as much as with the other person. Tradition encourages perseverance and forgiveness as a lifelong practice, a journey toward peace. In conclusion, forgiving but not forgetting is a vital lesson in handling hurt. It frees your heart from the chains of resentment while preserving the wisdom needed to protect yourself. This balanced approach honors both mercy and prudence, guiding you toward healing and stronger relationships grounded in respect and care. Decide on the future. After taking time to reflect, seeking understanding, communicating honestly, setting boundaries, and offering forgiveness, the next important step is to decide on the future of the relationship. Tradition values commitment deeply, but it also values respect, mutual care, and wisdom. Sometimes loving someone means knowing when to continue walking together, and sometimes it means knowing when to part ways for the good of both. Deciding on the future requires honest assessment. Ask yourself, has the situation improved? Does the relationship honor both of your dignity and well-being? Is there trust and respect that can be rebuilt? Or is the hurt repeated? And do your boundaries continue to be ignored? These questions are not easy, but they are necessary. Traditional wisdom teaches that marriage, partnership, or any close relationship is sacred and deserves effort and perseverance. It encourages patience, forgiveness, and work through difficulties. However, it also recognizes that commitment is a two-way street. If only one person is striving for healing and respect, the relationship may become unhealthy or even harmful. In deciding the future, consider the possibility of change, not just in your partner, but also in yourself. Are both willing to grow and improve? Healthy relationships require effort, sacrifice, and sometimes compromise, but never at the cost of your self-respect or safety. If you decide to continue the relationship, reaffirm your commitment to the boundaries and communication practices that support mutual respect. If you feel the need to change the nature of your relationship, perhaps by taking space or redefining roles, communicate this clearly with honesty and care. In some cases, the wise choice may be to step away or even end the relationship. This decision, while difficult, can be an act of courage and self-respect. It honors the traditional value of preserving one's dignity and well-being. Walking away does not mean failure. It means choosing peace and health for yourself and sometimes for the other person as well. Seeking counsel from trusted mentors, elders, or counselors can be invaluable at this stage. Tradition often emphasizes the role of wise advisors in guiding difficult decisions, providing perspective beyond immediate emotions. In summary, deciding on the future after being hurt is a profound and important step. It calls for honesty, courage, and wisdom, balancing the value of commitment with the need for respect and care. This decision shapes the path forward, leading either toward renewed partnership or peaceful separation, both rooted in dignity and grace. Handling hurt with a woman requires patience, understanding, honest communication, and firm boundaries. Forgiveness opens the way to healing, but remembering the lessons learned ensures you protect your heart. Ultimately, deciding the future of the relationship calls for wisdom and respect for both yourself and the other person. Tradition teaches us that true strength lies in grace, dignity, and thoughtful action. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share it with those who might benefit. Remember, true strength comes from patience and respect, especially in difficult times. Stay grounded in timeless values, and may your relationships grow stronger through understanding and grace. Until next time, take care and walk your path with wisdom.